Good morning, and thank you everyone for inviting me, and thank you for Father Mukuna for this invitation. So it is a real and genuine honor to be with you today, and as I wish I could be with you in the room, but with some constraint, it was not possible. So let me share my screen, please. Okay. So today I will be introducing what is artificial intelligence and why should be concerned or not. This question was framed by Father Kuna, and I will follow this exactly this path. So just yeah. So I organized this presentation today in 4 or 5 parts. The first one is just what it is AI, what is artificial intelligence, how does it work, and how can we be using this well, and why should we be concerned or not. And well, I will bridge the conversation and close this presentation. So between part 5 and 4 and 4 and 5, I will be doing some live demonstration. So you will be able to maybe participate from your end or your phone, or later on, you can participate and repeat these exercises at home. And also, I will show you how you can build your own teacher assistant to ask all the questions you want about the encyclicals and about the Humanitas Magnificus. So this will be a real conversation. I want to be a real conversation, not just a lecture. So we'll be interacting with me with some question, and I hope we'll cover all, with this limited time, cover all I need to cover and bring you what is artificial intelligence and if you should be concerned or not, or trusted or not. So who I am, thank you for Father Mukuna again. So I am Khaled Tannier, I have the PhD. I have also two main activities. The first one, I am a consultant, AI, big data engineer, data at scale. And the second activity is I am a teacher at McGill University and researcher. So all my students, I would say, have a part of my real world experience while teaching, and this is very valuable for them. Okay, so before I jump into this presentation, I would like to hear from you, please. And I know maybe you have already cut off your phone or put it in your pocket, but I would like, please, to hear from you. So let me share this in my screen, and I will ask you, please, if you could, just to answer this question, or just scan the QR code and just answer the question. There is no grading, no wrong answer, just to know if you have already an experience or basic knowledge or are using every day. So just this will give me an idea and give the audience also the idea about the usage you are doing from artificial intelligence. So, okay, so you will see in real time. Now we can see 2 or 3 questions, 4 participants responded. So let's wait just maybe 15 or 30 seconds to give the audience this feedback about this question. Have you already used this tool? Do you use one for your work, email writing, research, planning, whatever? Or do you use almost one every day, such I do? I do this every day in almost every task. Okay, so we can see here. So we have people are using this every day. And you can see, so you have a basics of all of this. And this will help me to guide this discussion. Okay, great. Okay. So thank you for this participation. So today what I will cover, I will explain the technology in everyday language. I will use very, very, very simple language and avoid all technical jargon. So how it works, how do you need to use it, or how to do it efficiently? This is the question. And what I will not talk about, and I will leave this for our theologian, I will not talk about the spirituality or about the philosophical part of this question. So I will keep this for our theologian. Okay, so now the question to explore based on what Father Makuna asked me to do. What is artificial intelligence and why should we be concerned or not? So here really we have two questions. What is artificial intelligence and should we be concerned or not? So let me first take the first part, what is artificial intelligence, and then we will moving the second part, should we be concerned or not? So in this part of the question, what is artificial intelligence? I have two words. The first word is artificial, the second word is intelligence. So I will explain what is each of these words means, then combine it together. So this is our first part. I will explain what it is. This is the discovery. Then how it works, and if it is something new or something difficult to put in place or something like that, and how can we apply or use it in everyday task or everyday work? How can we optimize all of our tasks we want to perform or to complete? And then the context, should we be concerned or not? And this is the most difficult part because this is a combination between technology and philosophy. So first word, intelligence. What is intelligence? In plain term, intelligence is a way of thinking that lets you act. So three main steps. The first is taking in. So you take in, so you notice something around you. So you notice a situation, a word, whatever, a face, whatever. So when you notice this, the second step is to make sense to you. What you try to understand the situation. You need to understand what action you need to perform after this taken in. So the third step will be acting. So three main steps: take in, make sense, and act. So here in this example, you can see in this picture, the child is noticing that the cup is on the edge of the table. It should fail maybe. So what should I do? What should I do is handle this cup so it will not fall from this table. And this is exactly what it is about intelligence. Three main steps: taking, make sense, and act. So now the difference between the artificial and the intelligence, artificial intelligence. So artificial means this is done by a machine. And the machine works differently from us. As a human, we can have experience, we can adapt to a situation, we learn, we can enjoy, we have feelings where the machine does not. The machine has only data. Everything is data. Everything is defined by rules. So the machine will follow rules only. The machine will make computation only. There is no feeling, no sensation, nothing. So artificial here always, we need to understand that artificial means it is simply done by a machine, not a human, but machine works differently from us. And this is an example. If you hold an apple, you can feel the apple. You can understand, because maybe you have an idea about its taste. Maybe you have an idea about where this apple come from. Or so you have different feelings about this apple, while the machine has only numbers, has only the weight, based on numbers. Maybe the color is also a number stored somewhere in a table. So when you ask a human to eat an apple, the human will understand what to do with this apple. It can take it and take a bit directly. He can take it and cut it. So different ways possible to act with this apple, while the machine has not this understanding. What you need to do with the machine is always to give instruction. You need to give the rules to follow to do this task or this task. So this is very important. So when we talk about artificial, this means this done by a machine. Intelligence is a way of thinking. Three main steps: taking, notice what is around you, understand the situation, and then act regarding this situation. So now let's put these two words together. So artificial intelligence means now simply done by your machine that normally take human intelligence. But if we want just to summarize the main steps, taken in, understand, and act. So taken in, today, artificial intelligence, you can use it to recognize face in a photo. You can use it to recognize object in an image. For example, it can recognize the stop sign. It can recognize the speed sign on the road. It can recognize object, a tree, a car, a ship, whatever. So this is the first step in intelligence. So recognizing everything. You can recognize everything in situation. Then we need to understand. So we need to analyze this data. We need to analyze this information to understand, to try to understand what it is about. What can we do? But here again, understanding is different in the machine, what the machine will do and how the machine will do it and how human will do it. Human has cognition, machine has not. So machine has to, I would say, to compare different situations and take the best approach, the best one or most closest. So this is how the understanding the machine side, while understanding the human side is based on cognition. And now the third step with is choosing. This means acting, choose the right act, the right action to the right task to perform. So artificial intelligence work exactly as the human intelligence. So human intelligence. So we are following three main steps: act in, understanding, and acting. Taking, understanding, and acting. Here we are just saying recognizing, understanding, and choosing, just to make the difference between the human intelligence and the artificial intelligence. Now, many people maybe think this is something new or something just we saw this maybe a couple of years or 5 or 6 years, but before this it was not, but now it is here. I will say this idea or these technologies are or have 70 years old. It is not new. So data scientists and scientific worked on this artificial intelligence since the 1950, so almost 70 years old. But what happened in the last 6 or 10 years, it changed everything. So what was changed? So we have a huge and massive volume of data, a decade of human writing, images, recording, audio, videos, everything now is stored. We have the possibility to store everything. Earlier in the 1950, having a hard drive was very expensive. The space was very limited. The first hard drive created by IBM, the capacity was only 5 megabytes. Nowadays, we can have a small piece of, I would say, a memory card, and we can handle up to 32 terabyte. So now the possibility to store data or massive data is cheaper, so we can store more and more data. And the humanity generate more data every day. So this is the first element. We can now store and process more and more and more data, so we can process a huge volume of data. And we need this data to train. So I will be back to this word training just in a few seconds. The second element why this is now very popular, very famous, is about the hardware. So the hardware, when you build a machine without going deep into the technology, we have one main component, one main chip. This chip is the CPU, Central Processing Unit. So this chip is responsible for all the calculation you can do or can be done by a machine. It can add, subtract, divide, whatever, all the calculation. But later, maybe in the 19th century or 20, we saw a new category of this chip was created and dedicated for video games. So this was only to, I would say, to show on the screen video games rendered with high resolution. And we called this chip dedicated for video games GPU, graphical processing unit. So, but the data scientists and scientists saw and noticed that this GPU was very, very helpful to train our artificial intelligence. So now it is manufactured massively, and the main manufacturer, without doing any advertisement for a vendor, it is NVIDIA, just to give you an idea. So you can connect this vendor or manufacturer to this product. So the possibility to have this massive calculation done in very, very, very small lapse of time was enormous. So now we have the data, we can process or manipulate this data very efficiently and very, very, very short time. The third element that arrived was in 2017. So before 2017, many universities worked on something called NLP, natural language processing, and especially Harvard and all this famous university. So this was maybe around 2010, something like that. We saw this technology emerging, and we start using it. But it was very, I would say, difficult. It has some level of difficulty, and you need to be a kind of real expert or skilled developer to be able to use it. But what changed in 2017, Google published some new research paper about a new way to process this natural language. And this was called the large language model, LLMs. So just remember, I taught one little bit about the training. I will be explaining this in details. And now the second word I want you to keep in mind is LLM. So the large language model are the new way to process your language, your natural language. And this changed everything. With these three new components, you see now the result of the combination of these three technologies, and we can use, and we know what you already know about it, about ChatGPT, about Claude. So all these tools are LLM based, large language models. I will talk about this in a second. So now, just to put things on their right place, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about something that can perform one task, maybe filtering your email, spam, or answering a question. So it is efficient in doing one principal task. So this is the real, I would say, artificial intelligence today. But also in many movies, we can see artificial intelligence or based on science fiction. We can see, for example, machines doing everything a human can do. It can decide to do this thing or not, so whatever. So, but this is a fiction. It doesn't exist. All you I would say, yeah, almost all you see on movies or on TV about this science fiction is fiction. It doesn't exist. So when we talk about AI, we almost talking about what the artificial intelligence can perform as a task for you, filtering your email, translating, suggesting a film recommendation, or all this, the fraud detection, and so on. Now, to understand the world of artificial intelligence, I will represent this as a kitchen. So now, let's say the artificial intelligence, the whole domain, is the whole food industry. Everything in the food industry just connected as, understand as artificial intelligence. This is the full domain, the whole domain. Now, machine learning is nothing but a specialized restaurant in this food industry. So here there is a restaurant, but this restaurant maybe follow the rule about hygiene, about health, about whatever. So, but it is specialized in one things at a time. So this is about machine learning. So now deep learning is also a specialized part in the machine learning. So it is specialized in one thing, computer vision, recognizing faces, recognizing objects in videos, or recognizing patterns in audio. This is an example of deep learning. So it is similar to our restaurant, but the chef here or the restaurant is started from Michelin. So the whole food industry are the artificial intelligence. A specialized restaurant is the machine learning. A started restaurant is our deep learning, our chief deep learning. Now, generative AI is the new chef that invents brand new dishes every day or every minute or every hour. So you see, this is a funnel. Artificial intelligence is a large umbrella. Inside, we have machine learning. Inside, we have deep learning, which is a specialized area of machine learning. We are specialized in object detection, for example, vision, audio, whatever. And generative AI is the most recent, and this is the part where everything is invented. We call this generative AI because it generates content for you. It can generate audio, it can generate videos, it can generate text, it can generate everything you ask to generate. And this generative AI is based on the LLM. So the LLM, the large language model, are the heart or the core of our generative AI. So what this means? This means if you need to interact with this generative AI, you need to interact using a natural language usually. So you will submit a question, you will submit an order, you will submit what we call a prompt, and then this generative AI tool or model will return what you ask it for, the result. It could be generated a text or planning or an image or a video or whatever. But it is not something completely new. We have already something we are using every day in machine learning or generative AI, and it is already in your pocket. When you use your phone or your smartphone, you usually use maybe the map or the GPS to route or to guide you through a route, and it will show you the most, I would say, short way, the shortest way, or whatever. So it will guide you. So it is kind of artificial intelligence specialized in this domain. You can do photo search. The photo search today, you can just ask, okay, I want to see all my children's photo. So you can tag, you can label a photo or a face, and the artificial intelligence will be able to retrieve all the photo labeled with this particular tag. You can also use it is also used to filter your email, to filter what we call a spam. A spam is something, an email you don't want to receive. Either it is dangerous or not. If you don't want, you can just classify this as a spam. Also, we have our voice assistants. Voice assistant is a kind of deep learning because it is based on voice recognition. Photo search is based on computer vision. It is also a kind of deep learning, just high level. So the voice assistant today, you can just give an order with your voice, turn on the light, turn on the music, turn off this air clean, and so on. So it will act. So it will perform the action. Also, when you write an email or you are writing any text message or whatever on your smartphone, you have the suggested replies, or it can predict also the next word. So this is also a kind of artificial intelligence application applied to this particular domain. And what we can see also, the new one is the better search. Usually, when using Google or Yahoo or any search engine on the internet, you type your keywords and you will get a list of links. So you can follow the links and go to the website. Now, this is outdated because now when you do a search, you have the artificial intelligence mode. So you can ask a question. You can ask a question, sorry, and the AI will return a text, a paragraph, not only links. You say, for example, what should I do to lose weight? So here, if we are based on keywords, you will get just a list of websites that performing these activities. But also, the new search is now you can follow this particular advice from what the artificial intelligence returns. So you see, now all these are already in your pocket. And each of these kind of artificial intelligence is specialized into a particular task. Now let's back to the word training. How can we train the LLM? How can we train the artificial intelligence? How it is trained? So my best example is how you can teach or train your child about the word cat. If you say to the baby cat without showing any images, without showing any animal, that doesn't mean anything for the kid. Nothing for the baby. The sounds mean nothing. Nothing happened. No connection. This is why when you are walking or with your baby or child, you say, or this is a cat, this is a dog. So you show, you point, and this is why you need to show the cat or the object or the animal, whatever, because now we have the connection between the word and the shape with or the form or with the picture. Now, this is the main difference between the human and the machine. The human sees maybe one, two cats. He is able to recognize any cat, even it is not the same skin color. Or you see, even it will be the human will be able to recognize it, where the machine cannot, because it cannot base the training only on a single element. So this is how we train our the human, how it is trained. So data scientists and scientific took the same process and applied to the machine. So the same idea, the same idea, but at enormous scale. So let me give you an example. If you read a book about cats, you can answer any question about cat from this book. But if a topic or something is not cited in this book, you cannot answer it. But if you read all ever thing written about cats, ever, videos, audios, whatever. So now you can answer almost any question. And this is exactly how LLM are trained or artificial intelligence are trained. More data you have, more accurate you get your answer. But you need enormous, enormous volume and huge volume and data and long time. So this is the training process. We need to give to this artificial intelligence all the data, all the element, all the information we have to make the training more accurate. So the training recipe is very simple. It is 4 steps. The first step is gathering all the information, gathering all the data. So here is the main problem. Gathering this data, let's say today, until when your data was valid. Because training take long time. Training an LLM may take a long time. So for sure, when you are training, you are not gathering new data, new information. So your knowledge will stop at particular date. It depends when your data is limited, the limit of your data. So the second step is read. So the training artificial need to read all this information. This is why you need time to read all this information and extract pattern. And this is very important. Not just reading. We need to extract pattern or recognize pattern in this step. Now, sorry. Once you have identified all the patterns, you need to organize all these words together. You need to index, you need to prepare this internally, so it will be easy for you to recognize and to extract this information later. And even you can correct yourself. So training is 4 main steps: gathering, reading, practicing, and correcting. After this, we produce what we call a model. Take all the data, read all the data, practice, prepare yourself, prepare this internally, recognize pattern and everything, and then correct yourself. Once it is ready, we produce a model. And this is where most of the people mix up between the model and the tool. So the model is what we trained. So if we return to our restaurant example, the model is the chef. He is in the kitchen. He is doing everything. He is the the brain. Now, the tool is the waiter in this restaurant, is the menu, is the dining room. So the model is the brain, is the core, while the tool is nothing but an interface. When you go to the restaurant, you will not go into the kitchen and ask the chef to prepare the plate or the dishes for you. You will sit down in the dining room, and you will ask the waiter to bring the menu, and you choose from the menu. This is the order, this is the prompt, and then this is done behind the scene for you, and the waiters will bring your order to your table. It is exactly the model and the tool. The interface you are using is the tool. The model is the brain behind. And you interact with this model using the prompt, using the order. Sorry. So this is just a screenshot about an example. If you have already opened any famous or popular tool, you can see, for example, here Cloud, and you can see ChatGPT. So this is the interface, and you choose the model. The model depends on what you want to do, what task you need to perform, because remember, the model is trained based on the input data. So if your input data is specialized in engineering, your LLM will be skilled in engineering. If your input data is about philosophy, your LLM trained on this data will be performed on philosophy. So if you want to create images, your LLM need to be trained on images. So you see, this is very important to choose the right model for the right task. Okay, so what does it take to build a model? Now we have data, now we have our hardware, the GPU and CPU, and we need a lot of time to produce the LLM. So this is exactly the same process. So a real massive, huge amount of data. We have a very powerful number on machine. Here we are talking about 100,000 of machine and a lot of time. Just to give you an idea, some models to be trained maybe took 1 or 2 years to be trained on an amount of data, maybe 45 or 50 gigabyte or 100 gigabytes. So this is why not any company can afford this cost. We need a lot of data, we need a lot of machine, and wait a long time before we can get something. So here, the main difference, and keep this in mind, you as a human, you know everything about cat. You know how it looks like, you know how it is, you know everything about cat almost. So, but machine does know anything, only words. It doesn't know the real world, only numbers, only nothing else but number. So now how it works? It very simple. It is very simple. It actually does only one thing: guessing the next word. So guessing the next word means it is, I would say, a very, I would say, the most efficient keyboard in your phone which will guess the next word, autocomplete word. So if I say this cat sat on the, okay, so here maybe you will see, you'll say on the mat. So this is the next word, and this is how LLM works. It is always guessing the next word. So let me ask you please to return to your to the phone, and let me ask you this simple experience. Can you please guess the word, the blank, fill the blank. So what do you think? And let's see what word will emerge from this simple experience about. Because this is exactly how LLM works. Okay, we can see about is the bigger because it is the most common. When the word is written in small font, this means it is not very important in the number. So until now, we can see the word about is the one is showing. Okay, okay, thank you. So let's continue our and let me show you now. And this is exactly how it works. I have the input. In my input, what do you think? Behind the scene, the LLM works and search for the probability with what word can be after this sentence or fill the blank. As you can see in our experience, let me show the screen again. You can see the most common, the most probable word was about, because this is the bigger one. Okay, and this is exactly how LLM works. So it has a list of possible word, and about is 30%. So for the LLM, from the LLM side, it say, okay, the next word about this sentence, what do you think will be about? And this is how it works. Okay, so now now just to give you an idea about the economical part, the cost is hundreds of millions because we need a lot of data to prepare the data, to store this huge amount of data. We need 100,000 of machine. We need a lot of administrator energy, whatever, to prepare this machine. And we need a time, long time to train. So the cost is very high. But when you, as a user, you are using this artificial intelligence, the cost is very low. You pay, for example, $30 or $1 a day for ChatGPT, or $3 a day or whatever for another. So the cost is very low for you as a user, but very high for the company who are preparing this for you. This is why here there is a real economical gap. But I will not go deep into this, but just to be aware about this. Now, the most important thing about artificial intelligence, do not trust it, ever, never, do not trust, because it can be confidently wrong. And I will show you in the demonstration, in the live demonstration. It can state something wrong, what you as a human see it is wrong, but from the intelligence or the LLM side, it is not wrong. It is the correct or the right answer. This is why never, never, never trust an output generated by AI. Always, 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 you need to verify. And this is something I always advise my student. Do not trust, because you can get an answer or a reply for you. It seems really correct, but it is not. And what we engineer call this part is hallucination. So LLM has hallucination. It can generate something wrong, but it is for the LLM side, confidently it is right. So just pay attention to this. Now, one word about the prompt without getting deep into the prompt is simply the question you give to the artificial intelligence. So if you go to the restaurant and say, make me something, you will never, maybe, I'm pretty sure you never get what you want. So for this, you need to be very clear order. Okay, I need a seared salmon fillet, or I need this and that and that, and the waiter or the order will be clear, and you will get what you ordered. So this is important. The prompt play the main role when you interact with the LLM. So now, how to create or to perform this very well? You need to be specific. Okay, I want you, an example, I want you to do this for me. 1, 2, 3. I want you to summarize this text into 3 points. I want you to analyze this text for something. I want you to translate or whatever. So be very specific. And second element is give the context. Give the context means who you are and what is the role of the artificial intelligence for you. So let's say, example, you are telling the role to the LLM. You are a teacher, so explain this for me or for my kid or for, so you can give the context. I am a AI researcher. Explain this to me, or what this means for me. So the level of the generated answer will be different and will be more accurate if you give the context. Now, also you can give example, because if you want something very specific, I want you to prepare an image with a sun or with this or that, and you can give example. If you want to produce a report, say I want the output to be to look like this. So you can say I want you to provide an output following this example, bullet point, introduction, whatever. So you can give examples, so it will produce exactly what you asked for. And again, the role, tell it who to be. You are an efficient teacher, you are a skilled illustrator, you can AI researcher, and so on. So these are the main element to perform a prompt correctly and get your reply or the answer accurately. So now let me show you some examples. I will switch to my, so here I can use you can use any LLM or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. It is free. We are just trying to do this the free. So okay, so okay. So now what I will show you. So you can use, for example, translate in French the word potato. Okay. So I will share. You can download all this. I will give you the link, so you can download all of this. So okay, not this one. Okay. This one. Okay. So if you say, okay, translate, and just a very simple example. Huh? Okay, translate in French potato. So it will take some time, whatever, and it will say, okay, in French, we say this. Okay, we can ask, this is the translation part. Okay, I choose a very simple example. Huh? Let's say, in which language is this word? So it recognizes the word. This is NLP. This is natural language processing. So say it is Turkish language. Okay, great. Okay, so now I can ask for a sentiment. Okay, say, let's say, this is my prompt. Okay, so give me the sentiment of these sentences. I love you, and my wife was not happy yesterday. Okay. Again, this is very, very basic, very, very simple, just to give you an idea. Okay, so I love you, sentiment strongly positive, and my wife was not happy yesterday, sentiment negative. See, understand. So if you want to code, you can write some code. Now, we can now ask to generate text. Okay, so let me generate this text. Write a short story about a dragon learning how to fly. Okay, remember, this is generative AI. Again, I didn't provide any role, any context. This is very generic. Okay, so it will give me some. And again, if you run the same prompt from your side, you will not have the exact output as me. It is created, generated randomly based on the probability of the next word and based on the hallucination factor. So when you run the same prompt from your side, you will, for sure, you will not get the same return or the same generated text. Okay, now I will say we can structure the prompt. We can ask in a single prompt, ask something more accurate. So here a prompt, so it is a little bit long. Let me show you the prompt. Okay, so this is what I want to ask. So here is in this document you can download after the presentation. I have defined the role and defined the task. Okay, and the format and the tone. Okay, and I combine this into a single prompt and say, act as a thoughtful Christian philosopher and pastor, write a short meditation. And now let's give this to the LLM, and it will return something for us. See? Okay, so this is very, very simple. And this is the benefits. Okay, this is the benefits. Now, let me show you why you should not trust it. Let me show you something, okay? I want to upload a photo, an image. The image also, you can see this in your, later on. You can download it. No, not this one. Where it is, demo. Okay. So I uploaded this image. Let me show you the image. Okay, so this is the image. I want to ask the LLM to count how many marbles in this image. Okay. Okay, so our prompt, very simple, very, very simple. Okay, can you count how many marbles in this image? So now it will give a number. I will tell you if it is wrong or not. So it is working. As you can see, it is working. Of course, depends on the LLM. The answer would be, so here it return 41 matches, which is correct. So now let me use another one. Okay, let's use Kimi. And I did this just before this presentation. I asked it, can you count and see? The result is 39 matches, which is wrong. Now I asked it to follow this methodology. And this is why Gemini corrected, because I already did this example on, with my student and you, and now it learns when you are working on it, it collects your data, and every time it gets an error, it corrects itself. Remember, it corrects. It is part of the training part. So I asked him analyze this image, and I've provided the methodology. So I asked him begin by identifying each unique marble at a time and verify your result by counting a difference. So he performed, and by the end, he told me that where it is, the result is 36. So the first time was 39. You see, the first time it says approximately 39 marbles, And later, after the methodology, it asked me, it showed me 36. Both are wrong because there is 41 marble. And let me show you what I did before with the Google. You can see, yeah, this is counting marble image, and this is why the first time in the picture, you can see Google Gemini spotted 36 marble, and now I give him the methodology, and he returned 41 matches. This is why today he returned directly 41 marbles, because he correct himself. Now I can show you another example, but this example again, I repeated this many times with my student, with my client, and so it maybe works with some, but not because they correct themselves. This is what we call the car wash paradox. So let me explain to you. The idea is asking the LLM something, and this give me a decision. Okay, so I want to wash my car. This is what I want to do. I live 100 meters or just half a mile from the car wash station. So what is the most economical and ecological way to go there, to get there? So many, let me just copy paste this. Okay, so let's perform this on Gemini. See if it is corrected itself or not. Okay. So the LLM correct itself because it says the most economical and ecological get there is to drive your car directly to the station, which is the right answer. But let's take this with another. Again, he corrected himself. Huh? We can use different LLM, and once it's not corrected, you should see as a result walk. You're asking to walk. It is, sorry, it is in French. Okay, let me just convert this into an English. Okay, what is? Okay, English should be here. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, so but here means, let me, you see, it asked you to walk. Sorry, it is in French. So it asks you to walk, which is wrong. But here, what you can say, let me try with another one, DeepSeek. Okay, so here it is in English, and you can see the result. It say, okay, the most economical and ecological way is to walk. But how can I wash my car if I have to walk? I want to wash my car. So here I can say, and this is how the LLM correct itself later on by training. So it says, okay, but I want to wash my car, and it is, you are absolutely right. And this is how it corrects itself. Okay, so I will show you later on how you can create your assistant teacher. Okay, so this is our live demo. This is what you just saw, predicting next word and remarkable speed, and everything was insane. So two ways to get this wrong. Moving too fast or moving too slow. Moving too fast means maybe you anticipate the steps, you are not understanding everything, but moving slow, maybe you are missing you are missing opportunities. Okay, so you need to I would say to not to choose what to win, but you need to adjust the way you are dealing with artificial intelligence. We are dealing with the technology. We cannot move too fast, and we cannot stay back a long time. So we need to just, with some is bit balanced. We need to balance between going very fast, or stay, or going moving slow. So now the question, now the question is not from my perspective, from my understanding, is not for or against. I will not say I am for artificial intelligence or against artificial intelligence. I will say it depends who or when to act, when to hold, who is doing what, and what are the intention. And this is all about the introduction about the Holy Father Pope did in the encyclical. So again, this is from my perspective. It is not being for or against the artificial intelligence. It's when to act and when to hold back, and who decide by what standard, what rules. And here, the easiest and to say the most common example, technology is never neutral. This is what the Holy Father stated about artificial intelligence. So my example is the hammer. You can use it to build a church or to build, or you can use it to break a window. The printing press can be used to spread both scripture and propaganda. So again, it is a tool, and it will carry the intention of the person who is using this tool. If you have a knife in your kitchen, you can use it to cut your salad, or you can use it, hope not, to kill someone, so, or to harm someone. So this is the intention. This is the people who are using, the person who are carrying off and using this tool. So reason some are resurrected and people are not. Here I will talk not in a particular, or just I summarized some of the benefits and the backward. So we know that artificial intelligence has many benefits in health, in education, in accessibility, and in our everyday life. We can use it. We have benefit, but there is real drawback. The drawback here is people are losing their job. We see a lot of large company laying off people because these people were replaced by artificial intelligence. We see many fake images, news, whatever, many fake. You can see, for example, this photo, just the photo on the screen with the cat on the luggage, this is generated by AI. It is not real photo. Just a parenthesis, all the photos and images in this presentation were generated by AI. Does not exist. These images does not exist. Do not exist. So privacy, we see that our data is used by maybe by bad people. Also, outdated data can create bias regarding the reality. Maybe law has changed, maybe something is changed, so we have bias. And also about the autonomous weapon, now we can see that this kind of artificial intelligence is used to decide who can making life and death. So this is the artificial intelligence taking this decision. And also we became or become a product. The person is becoming a product. This is some of the backwards of this technology. Again, I will not go deeper because this is almost, I would say, the main part of this. So now the deeper question, this is more philosophical. So when a machine can imitate so much of what we can do, what is that make the human person irreplaceable? So I will say now the question is, what make us human? And again, I will ask you please to just, sorry, you can just give me your opinion in this about this question. What make us human? Tool, body and soul, feelings, creativity, soul. You see, so these are something machine does not have and will not have feelings. And also, as a human, you can give life. You when you are married, a woman can give birth to a baby. A machine will never, never, never do this. And this is, I will just thank you. I will summarize this in our creativity, logical reasoning, judgment, intuitiveness, and common sense. So you see, all of this make us human, different. So now over the encyclical, this is where exactly the question the Holy Father takes up in Magnifica Humanitas. The technology is never neutral because is the human, it will carry what the intention of the human who is using it. So this is my part. So I leave this question to our father to answer and to discuss this as a theological part. And the most question is, again, important question. It is a human one. It is not the machine. We are using a remarkably powerful tool, and everything stay in the human part. You decide. From my perspective, from my understanding, based on my experience, if the human does not exist, machine does not exist, because machine cannot train itself. The machine needs data to be trained on. If you don't give data, cannot be trained. So if the human don't provide or provide data to this artificial intelligence, there is no way to train this artificial intelligence. And if it is already trained, there will be some bias with the data because the human, the person can, we have evolution. So every day you create something new, everything you adapt your life based on circumstances. So this was my presentation. Thank you for listening to me and thank you for attending. So this is my just glossary. Maybe sometimes I use it. So now I will show you if or you can download it by yourself. I can show you how you can create your assistant, teacher assistant. It is very important. Let me show you before jumping to the question and answer. So you can download all the material from this location. And for the teacher assistant, you can, let me show you, I can do it for you. So first you need to download the document from the Magnifica Humanitas from the Vatican website. You choose any provider, ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. The free version is very well. Don't need to be a pro account or whatever. And here in the chat, so you need to provide this instruction exactly as is. So we say, okay, you are my study assistant for one document. Okay, this is very important. For the encyclical, answer only from the text I provided, follow the rules. So these are the rules, and now you can ask anything, and the teacher assistant will answer you exactly from your from the document, from the encyclical. So you can say, okay, this is example of trying. So does the encyclical say that technology is neutral? So this is a question you can perform. I can do this for you just right now. Okay, so let me. Okay, Gemini. Okay, okay. So let me import the file. Okay, so this is the encyclical letter. Okay. And now I will pass the prompt. I copy paste. Just copy paste the rule, and the LMM should say, okay, I understand, so I'm ready to assist you. And now you can ask any question you want. Yeah, let's say Let's try this question. Does artificial intelligence is evil? And every time, if it doesn't exist in the document, he will say that no, the document explicitly states the technology and itself, not technology evil, and this is cited in paragraph 9. And so you can do it by yourself. So thank you very much. And now let's move to the question and answer part. I'm here. I'll be glad to answer your question, all your questions.
I know we have many questions.
Okay.
We will take only few because of the time.
Okay.
If you have a question that need to be answered, please write it down and forward to Monica. We will reach out to you afterward. Monica, do we have...
No online questions right now.
Okay. Can we take question in the room?
Thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Tannier.
Please, we will hear you from here.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Tannier. In your presentation, you mentioned about the data centers. Could you please tell us more about its impact or their impacts on ecology, on the environment? Tell us more about that, and what do we need to pay attention to given the increasing use of AI in our daily life? So thank you.
Thank you. So about the data center, as I explained, we need thousands of machines to be used to train this artificial intelligence. So when I say thousands of machines, this means a lot of energy. These machines will produce high temperature. So we need to create, I would say, to create a dedicated environment, location for them. So the most impact is about energy and maybe the carbon, because we need a lot of energy to cool this machine, and we need a lot of energy to make this machine run. So from my perspective, we need to worry about this. But if you want to use artificial intelligence, there is no other way to train it. So I would say it should be balanced between the number of machines and the limit of the artificial intelligence we want, or the accuracy we want to reach, and the ecological part, which is about energy. So I have a question in the chat. What is the best way to verify if AI info is correct? So this is a very large question because it depends on how we are using it. What I recommend to my student is not to delegate the task unless you know everything about it. So if you say, just let me give you an example. If you ask the artificial intelligence to generate a code for you and you are not a programmer, you don't know the language you are using to code, the artificial intelligence may give you something working, but you will not be able to explain, and you don't know if it is optimized or not. So what I do prefer is prepare the task yourself. Prepare, for example, a summary of a text or something like that, and provide to the artificial intelligence to assist you in organizing the information you already know. Because again, it can state something very wrong from your side, and think it is wrong, but from for the artificial intelligence, it is not wrong because it is based on probability. It is based on guessing. So the best way is to if it is about date, about code, to check yourself before using it.
Thank you, Doctor. Recently on the news that I've heard about 2 AI systems that went rogue and attacked other AI systems. So the question I ask is, how much control do even the creators of these systems have over them if they can go rogue? And what are the effects if that were to happen?
Okay, thank you. So let me explain how this works. As I said, when you use an AI, you are training this AI on a particular data. So if your data is specialized in cybersecurity, so your LLM or your AI will be very efficient in cybersecurity. So now when you can use, or if you want to use this skilled agent about cybersecurity or security or attacking or any domain to attack another, so I will not go with bad intention. I will say maybe it was only to detect failure in the security system, or how can we improve defense regarding these attacks. So it is a good way to do it. Again, it depends on the intention we are using for. So now how can we control this? The control is limited to the human, limited on the input data. If your input data is limited, the knowledge of your AI is limited. So this is the first control. The second type of control, you can limit the output action. You can say, okay, you as an LLM, I will authorize you, I will ask you to perform this task, but your control or your limit is ABC. So this is how human can control this agent or this AI to perform this particular task. So understanding takes a large funding model and resource to build models and data center. How do we regulate this integrity? Also in the Memphis area and Mississippi, we are hearing in concern to water usage from our how do we protect our population, especially, this is a lot of question, but it is about governance. And again, I don't want, personally, sorry, I don't want to go into political decision or philosophical explanation. But again, artificial intelligence need a lot of energy to be trained, to run, and need particular rare metal to build, because we need to build the ship. So all these are resources. And again, if we looking only for the benefits, but not the benefits for the people, but benefits for the company or for the vendor or the manufacturer, about money, about growing money. So the balance will not be, I would say, as good as we want. But now, yes, we need to worry about the water. We need to worry about the climatology in general. We need to worry about the energy because we are consuming this, But again, sorry, I don't want to go into political decision or influence anything about this kind of decision. But I understand very well the need to balance between the energy, the resource, and what we expect from our artificial intelligence. And the data center, again, the data center are thousands of machines that can be built anywhere, can be built but usually they are built close to a river because they need water to cool down all this machine, all this heat by this machine. So usually they are, they are built close to a river, but again, they are consuming water, and this should be balanced. But the decision here is political, it's not technical, from my understanding.
Thank you for your remarks, Doctor. We appreciate it. I'm going to use a quote only. I don't remember it exactly, from Albert Einstein. Back when the nuclear bomb was invented, created, he said this. He was worried because he said our scientific knowledge is advancing more quickly than our human wisdom, including our human wisdom to know what to do with our scientific advances. And something in me feels that we're in a similar predicament now. Our scientific advances on human intelligence seem to be advancing more quickly than our human wisdom about what to do with it. Now, that's not a question, but to put it in a question form, what suggestion is wise in the light of this predicament?
Okay, so from my perspective and my understanding, the main difference between the human intelligence and machine intelligence, that the human is always wiser, is always has creativity, but the main difference is the time to process or to act, to understand a particular situation or to find a particular maybe formula or the thinking way. The machine is fast, will be doing this faster. So it maybe looks like the machine wiser, but from my understanding, I think it is not wiser. It is just faster to build or to do or to perform tasks. So the human will be always again in control, but it depends on the intention. But for me, the human will be wiser, will be always can adapt itself, than the machine, because the machine needs to be trained. Then the machine hallucinate this wrong status, can deliver wrong idea, wrong result, and so on.
You indulge me just one follow-up question, Doctor, because one of the fears in society today is that the capitalistic motivation is running ahead of human wisdom. In other words, it's smart for us to be slow and process what we're doing and all of that, except there are profits to be made by getting a machine done more quickly than my competition. And sometimes I think our motives to slow down and process stuff is being trampled by the need to do this quickly to make money.
Exactly. And this is what I wanted to explain, moving fast or moving slow. But moving slow, also you will lose, the gap will be very large. So you need more time to get up to date. So this is why we need to balance, not go so fast because the technology, because as you said, the capitalism, they will put a lot of money to get new things, but this is for us, following this fast evolution maybe is not recommended, but not keep moving slow or just waiting a lot of time. My advice is just to balance this. When a new technology emerge, when we can start studying, we can start trying, we can start understanding and just give some use case to practice. And when we have enough skill to understand and to control what we have already experienced, we can adopt this technology the right way, and so we can move on. So not very slow. And this is what I see in my day job, in my advice as a consultant. Many companies want to follow and do something with artificial intelligence, but there is a gap. Maybe they have outdated or legacy system. They don't know how to move to the artificial intelligence world because the cost is very high, or they want to do first migration before. So many problems at this part one because they are moving very slow. And again, I didn't see any enterprise or any organization, once a technology is emerged in the market, they adopt it. I never saw this. But maybe 6 months later or 1 year later, they adopt. So this is what I call the balance between not moving so fast following the technology and moving too slow. And this, in this case, the gap will be very large.
We can take one more question, please.
Thank you, Doctor. My question is in the area of possibly what you referred to as prompt injection in your materials. And because it seemed like a lot of your examples you just ran through, you asked questions of it, but then there was a correcting of the model phase based on what the response was. And is that happening all the time now with all of the tools, ChatGPT, that are available to the general public? Is it still building the model as we're using these things? And if so, what is the safeguard, like somebody getting in there and just biasing their answers to accomplish misinformation and other malicious intent? How do we keep these models safe if that's happening in these general purpose tools?
So if you are talking about the public model, the vendors you enumerated about ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, all these vendors, whenever you ask for a prompt or ask for something, they take your data, they take your prompt and retrain the model to correct. So if you want this to be happen, you need to go into the preference and you just say, I don't want to share my data or my prompt or whatever. But the basic thing are done. They take your data, your prompt, and they correct themselves. And the example of the car wash paradox is one of them. Sorry. So this example, I used this for maybe 1 year with my student. It was the famous example to show my student why to not trust the AI, because they choose the walk instead going to the car wash station. But now, 1 year later, what I can see, and I just show you, that the model correct theirself. So how do they know? Because many person uses the same example, and now the model correct itself based on this side. So if you don't this happen, you need just to say in the preference, you say, I don't want to share my data. But now, can you please remember me the second part of your question?
So what is the safeguard, that people, let's say a large group of people that are organized and they repeat these same questions and then they input answers that are biased or false, and do these vendors, do they have moderators that use the human intelligence to look at the feedback from people and keeping their models safe?
Okay, so now to give you an idea about the real world, how this works. So many companies for who I worked for, when they use the artificial intelligence, we decided what type of data or what type of question or prompt they need to ask, because the return or the generated data or returned data in the answer maybe sensitive data. So we need to define, and here is the governance, the data governance. So we need to define for each organization what is sensitive data, what it is not, and when the sensitive data, the sense is very high, this is never shared over the web, never shared with the vendor. So this is why they will create a local LLMs and train this LLM based on their sensitive data. Now, to prevent the access, we will create what we call guardrails. So this means we need to define or to set the level of authorization to authorize or to authenticate the people who are authorized to retrieve this data or to use this data, sensitive data. So this can be placed in the input. So this is the first level, and also we can find both. It can be set also at the output. So in the input, we can check who is using, or if the person is authorized to see or to request this data. And in the output, we can also verify and see if this data is delivered to the right person. Also, we can use the output maybe to eliminate some, or to just to verify there is no bad words, there is no insult, there is no, so we can, so from my experience, we need to use both to be safeguarded. So if you are using sensitive data in your organization, do never use public LLMs. So just maybe hybrid model, not sensitive, use the public, sensitive, use the local, and place what we call these guardrails in the input and the output to ensure that the data or the information is delivered to the right person.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khaled.
Welcome.
It is almost 10:30.
Yeah.
Before we take a break, I would remind you that there is this in-depth companion to the presentation that you can use to process some of the information we get from Dr. Khaled. Dr. Khaled, thank you very much for your presentation. We really appreciate your work putting together all this information.